Okay, I'll open this up.
Okay, thank you.
Dear God, my Father, just want to thank you, Lord, for just allowing us to have this time together. Thank you, Lord, to wake up this morning in sound mind and body, for your protection on your provisions. Let's ask, Father, as we go through this class time, for your guidance and direction. Open up our minds to the things that we need to hear to help us to advance in our lives as far as our worship is concerned. Be with Karren and help her to deliver in the power of the Spirit. We make these requests in Christ's name. Amen.
All right. Let's start with every praise. If you want to stand, that's fine. If you want to sing, that's fine. Just lift up your voice. Let's try it. Every praise. Singing and how important it is to sing, because that is our praise to the Lord. Okay? It's our vocal way of saying, Lord, we love you. Lord, we praise you.
Amen.
So every time you sing, think about that.
Every time.
Every time. And think about, have you seen those members who don't sing during the congregation, during the praise team? Well, they're doing themselves a disservice. Yeah, they're supposed to be praising the Lord. And even though sometimes there are times we don't know the songs, you can still act like you like it.
Absolutely.
You know, you can, right?
Absolutely.
You can join in. You can clap, you can sway, you can make us think that you enjoy the song. So we also talked about some singing techniques last week. Let's see. I think there's a few of us here. Can anybody name one? Can anyone name a technique of singing? If you weren't here, just think about what would be a technique from singing. Brother?
Diet. Your diet.
Yes, your diet. Even though I had me some noodles today, last time it was had some Gates last time. I'm gonna be sick. I'm telling y'all this stuff. I'm tearing up some food at the same time. And when we talked about eating, we were talking about just having good balanced meal.
Okay.
And so there are certain foods that are acid reflux, and that can burn up into your throat. So we got to learn how to. That's why I say gates and stuff. When I taught this lesson, I just tore up some gates, and I was like. But if we can just keep that right. Eating well is very important. You know, especially right before you go, before singing, Brother Steve, I think he mentioned he can't drink, what was it, milk or certain things.
Right. Yeah.
And everybody's body is different. So I might eat some bacon, but you might not. You have to know yourselves. And if you got that, if you got to go, if you're singing and you eat some bacon or some dairy and you feel that little funnel in your throat, you shouldn't be eating it. Okay. The best thing for us, does anybody know to drink? What's the best thing for our vocal cords?
Water.
Drink water. Pop, caffeine, dehydrates your vocal cords.
And juice.
And juice too, because it's acid. Yes. So if we, not that you avoid it all the time, just right before you sing. I'd give about 24 hours, and then again, pop might not affect. But they, you know, the study I saw, they said that the caffeine does dehydrate your vocals, and so it's great to do to drink plenty of water. What? Yes.
Does it matter if it's hot water or cold water or room temperature?
That's a good question.
Right.
So just think about when you jump in the shower, in the cold shower. What happens to you? What do? It's the same thing that happens to your vocal cords. If you put a bunch of ice water back there, what's going on? What's wrong with you?
Okay.
But if you did, and same thing with hot. If you put hot on your body, it's the same reaction. So the best thing to do is to have that room temperature water, you know, to drink. But of course, all of us like that good old ice water. And then, I don't know if you got it, but I had handed out some diction, some things you can practice with. Here, I'll have them. Here, I know I keep picking on you too. But these are little Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers, a pack of pickled tongue twisters. Yes, that you can practice in your own little time in order to improve your enunciation and your diction, especially on songs that are fast. I know we sing a lot of them. Praise Him with the timber and that, let everything. That's one of those songs that you can kind of, okay? So a technique was good diction, and if you practice this kind of stuff, and when those songs come your way, you'll be kind of ready, because what it does, it kind of trains you to know how much lip do you push down on, or how light you do your lips as you go through the words and everything. And we saw last week when we did Anthem of Praise, we did pretty good, as long as the pace was a nice pace for everybody to say, because that was a lot of words to do. Also, another thing was have good breath support. What do I mean by that? Y'all hear the term diaphragm. What that mean? What is a diaphragm? What's that? Y'all say it? Sing from the diaphragm. What does that mean? Where is your diaphragm?
Like right down here.
Down here. Somebody said down here. Okay, the diaphragm is right up here.
Under the breastbone.
Yeah, right under your sternum.
Sternum. Okay.
And what happens is, as you inhale in, your diaphragm goes flat. As you exhale out, it comes back up to a position. So it's doing its thing anyway. Okay? But what happens is when we take those deeper breaths, like for a certain length, if you have to sing for a long time, you go and get ready. And so your diaphragm kind of goes like this. And then slowly goes up. Because if you use a lot of air and you slowly using it to sing a song, your diaphragm is just slowly getting back into position.
So that's a muscle.
That's a muscle. It is. Okay? So one of the things I had taught them is how to breathe. Let me teach you. I always think of me yawning. So I yawn to the back of your throat. So try it with me. And then let it out. See how much air you can have. And if there's a certain song you have to sing long notes, you have to control it. So let's take that same breath and control the air coming out. Okay, let's do it together. Let it out slow. See how hard it is? You focus. I ain't never seen y'all so focused. Yeah. You see that? Okay. And so sometimes, look, they still going. But see, we've never seen nobody focus like that when they're preparing for notes. We just and then we singing instead of taking the time to control the air that you will need for certain phrases. Okay. So we talked about that. Now breathing, like I said, breathing in the back of your throat, acting like you're yawning. So another technique I had gave an assignment was to know your scales. What's a scale? Anybody can tell me? There are 8 members, there are 7 people that belong in the family of a scale. 7 people. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, and then of course there's a top do. Really it's 8. Got it? I gave you a piece of paper last time and said to learn your scales, because this is a technique that will start the beginning of you to read music. And you're saying, what? Yes, because there are times